Hello, everyone watching and listening, and welcome to another edition of Inspired By. At the top of your screen, you can see is a blank space because you never know who is going to bless the screen and be a guest on this show. And today I have the one and only Karima. How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for joining me. And, we're going to talk about Redeemer and how great that song is doing. But before we get to that, I have to say you are probably one of the most fashionable people I've ever seen. Like, ever.
Really?
I don't know. I don't even know what you're wearing right now, but it's more colorful than anything I have in my closet. Like, you see.
It's called a kimono, and I'm really excited that I had it on standby because I was trying to figure out something to put on, and I was like, oh, I have nothing clean. And then I remember that I had this.
So you wouldn't consider yourself like a fashion expert?
Well, I love what I love. I feel like you can make anything look amazing if you're confident.
Wow.
So I'm not one that I'm not like a brand name sort of girl. I like high end, but Can I afford high end all the time? No. So I go to sale racks. I go to Target. I might frequent like every now and again a thrift store, because you just never know what you're gonna find. I just think when you put it all together and you walk in confidence, it doesn't matter what it is, you're gonna look like, oh, well, she might know what she's doing. So but I've always loved clothes. So again, it doesn't have to cost $1 million for me to learn.
Well, you definitely do your thing. I see all the pictures you post. I'm like, where can you find this outfit at? Like, it's really amazing.
I need to start posting stuff like that too, because a lot of people do ask me, but I don't ever think of myself as a fashion, kind of. I just like looking and feeling good. Looking good helps me feel good, and vice versa.
No, that's good. So a few months ago, when you had released Redeemer, you said that you were living proof that it's always possible to start again.
Oh my God.
So how can we seek success while at the same time being prepared if a comeback is necessary?
Well, the thing is, I don't think anybody, like for me, new starts, because I put an S on it, plural, because I've had several. I'll start with just, being, I'll go as far back as saying how I got a record deal. God gave me a new start because I didn't feel like I was smart enough to go to school. And so I told God to give me something that I can own. Give me, since I was about 8 years old. 7 is when I realized, but 8 is when I really, really, really realized that I could actually sing. And so I just, told God that's what I wanted to do. I didn't know how it was going to take place, but I feel like He always gives me a new start, where I feel like if I started something without Him, because I told my mom I didn't want to go to school because I really didn't feel like I was capable of achieving the grades and, keeping up with whatever I needed to keep up with, because my brain was just like creative. And so I begged my mom if I could go to hair school. I wanted to do something that I really could love. And she was like, no, ma'am, you will not stay in New Orleans, born and raised there. And she's just like, I didn't have the opportunity to finish school. So I want you guys to have the opportunity to do things that I didn't. And so if I didn't go, because I had already filled out applications to go to hair school, even with not even asking my mother, I was just trying to do it because I wanted to show her, look, this is what I really wanted to do. But when I got to Oakwood, in my first year, God gave me a new start. I didn't even finish my first year in school before I had a record deal.
Wow.
So if I hadn't gone, there's no way it would have happened. So he gave me a start there. He gave me a start after I got divorced because I was trying to figure out, Lord, I made a little money with Virtue, but combined households are different. And so I didn't know how I was gonna start life over again.
Wow.
And then again, he showed up for me with the soup company. And I'm just like, and I said that lightly because I haven't shared with you. But yeah, I asked God to give me something again. Like, I need something because we had taken a break from Virtue. He gave me this craving for chicken noodle soup. I don't even like chicken noodle soup. I'm like, what? Chicken noodle soup? A whole week worth of doggone cravings for chicken noodle soup. And I'm like, look, I don't like chicken noodle soup. I don't know where this is coming from, but I had to make the chicken noodle soup.
Yeah.
Because God doesn't forget when you ask him something, he delivers. So it's not up to you. I mean, it's up to you to actually pay attention for what he's giving you. And so all of a sudden I made the soup, best chicken noodle soup I've ever tasted in my entire life. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was delicious. And I was like, wow, I'm going to bring my daughter some. And so before I decided to bring her some, I heard fill the jars. And I'm just like, fill the jars? Like, what does that mean? And then it clicked, like, referring to like the lady who had the bottles of oil. She kept, God kept filling them. And she was poor. Her and her son, they were trying to figure out how they were going to survive. And so she was like, Lord, somebody asked her for oil. And she was scared to give them oil because she didn't want to run out.
Right.
Like, that all came back to my memory. I was like, fill the jar. So yes, it was one of those moments where I was like, okay, this bill is due, but I can wait this if I pay this. You know what I mean? And so I was like, I am tired of living that type of stressful life. That's the life of some artists. And it was my situation because I think everything happens the way it's supposed to. I don't think that it has to go. Sometimes when we end up in a bad spot, we're like, well, I guess it was meant to be. No, you know what I mean? We're not listening. We want to do things our way. And so that was my problem a lot of the times. But this particular time, I listened. I made the soup. I promise it tastes so good. I was like bringing my daughter some after school. And I poured it in the jar. I had mason jars in my cabinet for, I don't know, it was 3 years, and it had tops on them and everything crazy. Just had some mason jars. And so when I poured it in the jar, my hand shook. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. You want me to sell soup, Lord? Like, who's going to buy soup for me? Who's going to buy soup for me? Like, oh my God. Like, so I listened. And, I have a girlfriend, my best friend here, and she has like the #1 bakery here. And so she taught me to ship because I did one video and people were like, oh my God, do you ship it? I'm like, oh, not yet. I don't even know how any of it works, So she gave me this whole tutorial, gave me all the things I needed. And I tell you, that was in November. By December, I had shipped maybe 31 boxes of all over the country. And it wasn't a jar to, it was like 16 jars. It was like 20 jars. It was 24 jars. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So ask God for something, he will give it to you. So that's another stuff. And then he gave me a start with this music.
Yeah.
Which is unbelievable because I was working at Restoration Hardware because I love people and I just wanted to love beautiful surroundings. Restoration Hardware is gorgeous, and I probably shouldn't be giving them a shout out, but anyhow, it was a 77,000 square foot facility that it was like, you want to be there. Like, you just want to be there. Restaurant, the best of the best shop in there. So I was able to meet a ton of people, but I gave my work there. And then it was almost 2 years. I was like, I feel like I'm stuck. I would walk those long hallways and I would ask God, is it over? Is this how it's going to be for me? Am I just going to be selling furniture, for the rest of my life? And like, what's going to happen with the gifts you've given? Because soup stopped because of the pandemic. I'm sensitive. Shipping it is, so I couldn't do that. And so I just told God, listen, I need a new start. I need a new start, and I don't know what happened, but give me the desire to write music. And so by August, I reached out to my writing partner, wrote a song called, and it was basically about how God kept me up through this entire pandemic. Like I made more home than going to work. Like I was able to buy a car during a pandemic. You know what I mean? Like he like totally hooked me up. Like wow. And so I started knowing Lisa and Juan Winans. They had a song called "It Belongs." Love the song. I would cry every time I hear it. I'm like, okay, God, it belongs to you. I'm just, I'm gonna let it stay in your hands. I'm not gonna touch it. All the things. And so what he wanted me to do was pay attention to who released their music. And so I was like, what's interested in who, And so I started paying attention. I was like, okay. So whoever they're working with knows what they're doing. I love their release. I love their rollout. Everything was just nice. Like somebody is paying attention to detail. They have a full team working. And I'm like, okay, God, if I could just have someone, you know what? Better than that, God, if you would just give me their record label, that's all I need. That's all I need. I kid you not. I prayed that prayer probably 3 times. The last time I prayed it, I was like, listen, with releasing up myself, it's going to be a challenge. I'd never done anything like that before. Yes, I had music out prior to that, but I had a distribution company that actually, funneled it out. But it was just me. I didn't know how I was going to do any of it. And so I started making these cute little videos, and I was putting, pieces and bits of up on my page on social media and taking selfies and making that my album cover, all that. And so I'm thinking, okay, somebody has to see this. Even if no one sees it, I'm going to do my best to get it out myself. I said, God, I would really, really love if this record label reached out. And the end of September, early October, I said that prayer, and I was in my bedroom upstairs, and I got up and something said, check the phone. I had a message from the CEO of that company in my DM. And so I'm just like, that was fast. Like, whoa, you got power like that, Karima? Like, your prayers be getting answered, okay? So pray about anything you want. Right. From the doggone CEO, and I'm just like, okay. I said, he's like, so Karima. He said, what's up? And he said, what's up, Wody? That's New Orleans. Like, what's up, Wody? That's a great slang in New Orleans. So I'm like, who is this? And so he's like, it's Mook. And I was like, Mook. Kind of find, Mook is the CEO of the company. And I thought sure that Mook had seen my video on my video. And he didn't. He never saw it. Never saw the video. I said, so you must have seen my music. I said, because he was like, what are you doing? He said, are you still singing? Like, what's going on with you? Where are you in the world? And he was like, I've been following you for a little while. He said, today was the first day I just decided I was going to say, what's up? I was like, you're kidding me. He had never seen the music. And he was like, no. He said, there was just a light on your page. And he said, I just needed to, something told me to reach out. I was like, God told you to reach out. Because I told him I wanted you. I needed this company to reach out to me, right? And so it's kind of like that's what happened. And so we talked, we had a conversation. I sent him the song, and we decided, he loved the song. He was like, oh, for sure, it's a bop. It really is a bop, and it's gonna come out. It's just not time for it to come out yet. But so we decided on, if I'm gonna come back, then I need to do something familiar. And so weeks prior to that, God had placed Redeemer on my heart. Like, I kept listening to Redeemer in my car, and it makes you cry, just like, God, the God I serve, he definitely is a redeemer. He has redeemed me so much so that I don't even know why he loves me this much. Yes. You know what I mean? And so I'm just like so grateful to God that he listens and that he keeps his promises. And it's like whatever we ask, if it's according to his will, obviously, but the rest is like history. Like, we decided to do Redeemer. Aaron Lindsay jumped on board, and it's what it is.
Wow.
He is my Redeemer. New start after new start after new start.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't help but, have the attitude that I have and be happy, and there's no reason to be sad about anything. Now, the devil will try and come in and try and steal your joy, but you have to remember who you are and why you're here and who you serve.
Yeah.
Your Redeemer is this man, this God, this man we serve. This God is so powerful. Like, he told the water where to stop, where the sand is. Like, who does that?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, who tells the moon when to come out? It's just bananas when you really, really, really think about it. This is the man we call Savior. This is the man I serve. This is the man who has saved me so many times. He has redeemed me so many. I'm not worthy. None of us are. So I'm just grateful, and I repent of his goodness wherever I go, whenever I get an opportunity to do that, because he's just too good. He's too good.
Like, because when we talk about Redeemer a lot, and I just thought the timing that you released it was perfect, like around Easter, and that's naturally what we think about with the death and resurrection of Christ. And what I think about when I hear Redeemer is Job, when he said, because he said exactly what you say in your song, that my Redeemer lives.
Yes.
We know what Job's story and what he went through, and it's like what we've been talking about, that new start, and Job had to go through that setback for God to start him with even more than what he had before.
I'm sorry, my daughter is calling like crazy. She just got some message. I keep sending her a voicemail.
No, it's cool, because I'm going to talk about your daughter here in a little bit. But with your song Redeemer, since its release, has hit almost 5 million streams. So how does that make you feel?
You know what?
You start.
I'm just like, that's good, right? This is my prayer. I ask God to exceed my expectations. I just know that it is such a powerful song, and it's such a message that is needed among so many people, and not only for the four walls of the church, but it is extended over the other side. And I say that because the DJ, he plays it in his CQ live all the time. He loves it. I mean, and I've gained so many new followers because these people, other than being the brand manager, I don't know if they would have ever had the opportunity, to hear it, or even, know about you. So one lady did say, you know what, I've never listened to gospel music before, but in your club, because he does praise and worship on some Sundays, but sometimes he'll end the Michael Jackson set with me. I'm just like, wow. And it just says so much to me, that sometimes we think what we're doing is for, the people that are around us and the church folks and other areas. But I just don't think that God wants it to not be. It can't. The message is for all the world to hear and to see. And so if we're not open to extend ourselves beyond the four walls of the church, what is our purpose? Like, we're preaching to the choir. I don't want to do that. Yeah. I want to be a light to all. I want to be who he's called me to be. And if that is, the CQ people, if that is, I don't care who it is. If you are not a Christian, you are not, that doesn't mean that you can't become one. That doesn't mean that you won't have transformation, even through a song. Song is a song. Music is healing. And that's my other side. So I told her, take it so far that I just exceed all my expectations. So 5 million streams, I don't think that's ever happened to me in my entire 25 years.
Wow.
In the industry, because obviously the times are different, but even equating, that to how many people is actually heard of Karima or a song I've done or heard you or whatever. I don't think it's ever happened. So I am extremely excited about. I feel like this is just the beginning because when you test and you trust God's leading and you test him and tell him like, listen, you said your promise is true. Then he goes on and like, okay, all right, okay. So she really believes that I'm gonna do what I said. So let me just go ahead and show her real quick. I can snap my finger and you can have 10 minutes. You know,
Right.
so I'm open to whatever God has. I am extremely excited and very blessed to be on a label that is so intuitive and so responsive and just supportive. They believe in me more than I believe in myself sometimes. You know what I mean? And so I just feel that's not a new start. I know it is.
Mhm.
Great, wonderful.
No, that's awesome. And with you, I just think that's the mind of a creative believer too. Like we when we are in tune and we know we come from a creator
Right.
and that we are creative. Like when you talk about your singing, your songwriting, just even your natural sense of fashion, like all of that is just natural creativity that's in our DNA because of who we come from and who created us. And now you see that pouring into your daughter who loves art and who loves music and can sing. So how does the likes of two creatives uh, enhance your relationship?
The girl is a genius. And
Mm.
I look at her, I'm just like, you gave this child to me. I try to open up doors and opportunities for because I need to know where and how to steer her. And yes, she has a father in her life, but as her mom, I just want to see her live every dream. And while she was saying, "Mommy, I think I want to be a neurologist." I don't know how it's just because as a kid, it's just like I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be a lawyer, I'm going to be
Yeah.
a secretary, whatever. And then she started changing it, over the course of her growing up and becoming who she is becoming as a young lady. And I just cry sometimes because she is so gifted. God has really, really given this girl every gift there is. Carly's been drawing since she was 4. And, I would always kind of encourage her and give her paper and stuff to jewel and stuff on. But one day she brought me a picture. And I said, "Did you post this?" Because it was so amazing. She said, "No, mommy." She said, "I watch, Tina Tails, and she drew every animal. It was detailed. I wish I amazing." And I was like, whoa. Then she started drawing like, just everything. She'll look at something and she'll do a form, whatever's in her head, she just and you can see the progression in each picture. I'm like, wow. I said, "You want to take some art classes?" Yeah, of course I still look for some, but we never put her in art classes. She liked volleyball. I always wanted her to be able to sing. I didn't know she could until she sent me a video and it blew me away.
Wow.
Herself ukulele by looking at all the videos on YouTube. And I was down here and I heard the ukulele and I heard stars. And I thought it was the I thought it was her. It was her. Like what? And I was trying to sneak up and right here. But to make a long story short, she is incredible. And the art that she just did, I just put on my page. She's doing a series of it's called Face It, where she's doing abstract art and she's putting beautiful faces in it. It is phenomenal. So I'm very, very proud of her. She wants to go to Howard. Um, we'll see if that changes.
Right.
This is her 11th year. This is junior year. So I told her, I said, whatever you're going to do, that is serious now because you got 1 year left afterwards. So she said, I just want to be able to make sure I'm tapping into all my gifts. I want to sing. I want to do art. I want to act. She wants to be an So if God, not look, He's going to do it. And I just tell Carla, you know what? We pray for everything we want, and what God wants for us, it's gonna be just it's already provided. And so she is just walking in her purpose at the moment. She just turned 16, and we are just extremely proud of how responsible she is. She also wants to drive my car. Not that she's doing that. On things like, okay, I'll let you drive down the street
Right.
in the parking lot. I don't know. Can you park the car? It's really good. So yeah, I'm excited about her future.
No, that's amazing. So talking about your your journey of faithfulness with God from Oakwood to Virtue to the now back to singing with your song Redeemer. And I'm sure there's many more to come, but like if you could summarize, your journey of God's faithfulness thus far, like what was that? What would that sound like?
I can summarize my journey.
Yeah.
The only thing that comes to is perseverance. Like you have to keep going,
Yeah.
and it will get hard. You will cry, and I don't wish this on anyone, but this is my story. It's been super hard, but I remain faithful because I've seen the struggle of my mother. Mother raised us single-handedly, no help. We were on welfare. We didn't have a car. Yet people were still jealous of us because they wondered how our mom took care of us and made us all look amazing.
Wow.
All look amazing. And she is a testament of look at it went out there. But perseverance. That's it. You don't give up. No matter how many times you've been down, no matter how many times someone tells you no, no matter how many times it just doesn't seem possible. If it's what God wants for your life, it will happen. No matter what. So I always say there are a million ways to get to where we're going. I live in a certain area. I can get to a mall from here like 10 different ways. So, I can either go my own way, detour, get stopped in traffic, a train track or whatever, or I can just, go the way God has me to go. It may be a little longer. It may be a little harder.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get there in the time that He wants me to get there, and it's gonna be perfect. So it's just not giving up,
Yeah.
staying true to who you are, and just believing that what you have to offer is good enough.
Wow.
That is my favorite in myself, and I'm saying this because even right now in this second, it's not always positive, and that's what I was just saying to Amanda. Sometimes it's not going to be as easy, but that's not a need or a reason to give up. That's actually a reason. It's a reason to keep going, so you can actually say, "Oh my God, why would I give up?" and not know what He is going to do.
Yeah.
That will praise you more than that.
Wow.
I will never give up. I will never give up. Won't be my
Right. Wow. You man have just shared there's just so much encouragement and inspiration just from your testimony, your journey, and now you describing, your mindset of continuing. I hear too many people talk about, when it's difficult, that should be your motivation to keep going. Like yeah, but that's foreign, but it's true. It's true. Like it, because you want to see the end. You want to see the outcome.
I'm telling you, it would drive me nuts
Yeah.
not to finish. And that's how I have lived my, that's why, like, if I say I'm going to do something, I got to do it.
Yeah.
I got to finish. Even if it didn't come out the way I thought it was going to,
Yeah.
I got to do it.
Wow.
When you speak what you see what you say. So I want to see everything that I've said. I want every promise that God has given me. I want to see it all. I will not stop. At 47, I'm just beginning.
Yeah.
Just beginning. Excited about it.
That's awesome. So before I let you go, and this should be real easy because of all the inspiration and wisdom we shared today, I want you to fill in the blank of this sentence with as many words as you want to.
Say that last part again because the phone went out again.
So I want you to fill in the blank with as many words as you want to with this sentence I'm about to give you.
Okay.
All right. So I am Karima, and I am inspired by blank.
Okay. I'm Karima, and I am inspired by my journey.
Wow. So all what we just heard, your inspiration.
It's my inspiration.
Wow.
To not give up. That's what the devil wants. I refuse.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna happen.
Like, and what's wild is like we choose to be stubborn in a lot of areas. But we might as well go ahead and be stubborn and not giving up.
Might as well. I mean,
Wow. So is there anything else that we didn't get to talk about or something that you wanted to share with everyone watching and listening?
Stowe, I feel like I talked a hole in your ear.
Hey, I'm here for it. I'm here.
I think I shared everything. There's some stuff I want to wait to share that I'm sure you guys will. Yeah, we have an EPK we're about to release that I did. It was amazing in Atlanta. And some other stuff that's coming up. But as far as I'm concerned, Redeemer to the top.
Yeah.
So we're just going to wait to see where God sends to go next.
Wow. That's amazing.